Hey guys, it's me, Arlene. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about one of the most beautiful, legendary, iconic, beautiful perfumes that I have ever smelled in my entire perfume journey. You guys, I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with this perfume. From the house of Tom Ford signature line, we have Black Orchid. This is the EDP version. This is the EDT version. I love them both to death, you guys. Like, this is what modern perfumery is all about. This is probably the best as it gets, pretty much. I mean, I would say in the top 10 of perfumes ever made, Black Orchid would be in that top 10. Including niche, indie niche, designer, cheap is everything like that. So yes, this is going to be kind of a comparison video, more so a review on the original EDP, but I will mention and talk about a little the Black Orchid EDT as well. So just a little backstory with Black Orchid and me. Black Orchid for me was a love at first sniff. I can't remember when I first sniffed this. I'm gonna guess like 2010, 11. I'm not even sure when it was released. Actually, I have it here. This was released in 2006. I probably smelled this in 2010 or 11 or something like that. When I was first getting really into this hobby, like heavy, like head first into this hobby. Black Orchid was a love at first sniff. I wanted it immediately after I smelled this because it is so unique and interesting. I've never smelled anything like this back then. My socks were literally blown off of my feet. And around that time when I first smelled this in the store, my husband was on a work thing over out of the country, and he asked me if I wanted anything from the duty free. And I'm like, yep, I would like the Black Orchid, please. And I was so excited, you guys. I would say that this perfume, when you first spray it on your skin, you will notice that it is very, very bottom heavy. It just feels like a brick. It is so thick and dense, and really honestly, when I spray it on my skin, you know, I might as well do that now. It feels like a heavy brick has hit me, or I hit like a brick wall. And this brick wall is made out of earthy, dark, moist patchouli, earthy, dark vetiver as well, earthy, dark woods, and also I get like a really, really heavy musk in here. So as I said, really, really bottom heavy, a little bit off-putting it can be, I think. It can be a little intense. This bottom heavy base, if it was just like this and there was nothing else with it, I don't think I would like it because it is so thick and it just could be a little much. But along with this really intense heaviness, there is something beautiful that's happening on top of these heavy base notes. On top of these heavy notes, we have the most beautiful, delectable, delicious cocoa notes. Chocolate, bittersweet chocolate, dark chocolate. I'm thinking of melted, like the most expensive melted dark chocolate, and like drizzling it very, very generously over these like earthy patchouli, earthy woods, earthy vetiver, and musk as well. The chocolate part is also very heavy. So if you're like, obviously if you're not in the mood for like heavy, intense perfume, this is not going to work because it's just so much to handle, I think. And it took me a while for me to really appreciate what's going on. I mean, of course, it was so different in you when I first smelled it. I was really, really impressed and I wanted it. But actually wearing it was a little bit of a trick because it's not like an everyday perfume for me. It's not something I can comfortably wear on a day-to-day basis. This kind of perfume is, for me, something I would wear for a special occasion, something to make a statement, something to get attention if I wanted it, something to boost my confidence a little bit. It is just something, even the bottle, if you look at it, it just looks something more special than your average perfume. It just has that feeling to it whenever I wear it. So you have these two things, earthiness and then the chocolate bittersweet, not too sweet chocolate, just really melting into each other. And it is seriously a match made in heaven. It is genius. It is really sexy, sultry, sophisticated, kind of mature. It's kind of like a take charge kind of perfume. You mean business. You are the boss. You are unique and interesting. And to me, it's kind of almost like a conversation starter. If I smelled this on someone else, I probably would. I'm shy in real life, you guys, but if I smelled something like this on someone for the very first time, I probably would try to find the courage to ask that person what they're wearing and compliment them on it, because it really does have that effect, like kind of intoxicating effect. So that's the opening of this perfume. As this perfume dries down in the mid and dry down, the heavy base that you get right in your face, right in the beginning with the opening, that heavy base starts to fade away and starts to really tone itself down, really calm down, kind of just like taking it down many, many, many notches. And then that beautiful dark chocolate, bittersweet, melted chocolate thing really does take over. Not only that though, along with the chocolate, you also get a big, big mix of really beautiful semi-sweet florals and also a sweetness in here. I guess it's like a sweet floral scent. I can't pinpoint exactly which florals because it just really does have just this general floral scent, nothing specific. Also added to this, you get this creamy vanilla mixing again with the chocolate, with that heavy base still there, but just not as strong. And in this point on my skin, it gets very, very, very gourmand. And you guys know, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that gourmands are my thing, you guys. So melted chocolate, mixed florals, has a creaminess to it, a sweetness to it, also adds some beautiful vanilla bean type of sweetness as well. I also get a little bit of a soil kind of smell in here in the mid and dry down, where if you can imagine flowers and after a rainfall, the soil is kind of wet and moist. Add that into a mix a little bit to this like gourmandy, chocolatey floral. And it's so, so amazing. So yeah, that's Black Orchid EDP. So then we have the EDT version. What happened with EDP is my husband really, really, really enjoyed this fragrance a lot. And he started wearing it more and more and more than me. I started associating this perfume to him. And that kind of like, I guess he like took ownership of it and I didn't feel like wearing it as much. But I still wanted to wear Black Orchid, just not in the same way that he did. So I picked up the EDT version maybe a few years ago. And if I'm gonna make this very simple, as a comparison, I will say the EDT version smells a lot like the EDP. Obviously, the EDT version is a lot lighter. I will say that it's not as bottom heavy with that heavy like brick wall kind of heaviness. It doesn't have that. It is a lot lighter, a lot fluffier. You still get the beautiful bittersweet chocolate melted. You get the florals as well. Some beautiful vanilla sweetness, but I do find with the Eau de Toilette version on my skin, they have toned up the vanilla sweetness a little bit more. So this has a little bit more sweetness to it, a lot less of the heavy base notes. And in general, the whole thing just feels a lot lighter. It doesn't last as long as EDP. It still lasts pretty well though. The performance is really good as well. But for me, I just feel like the EDT feels like something that you could probably get away with as like an evening scent daily. But this one is more like of a special occasion kind of impression. I want to make up an impression on someone kind of scent. They're both absolutely fantastic. You cannot go wrong with either of them. It just depends on which kind of mood you are in. And I think, well, I guess, I don't know which one I would choose, you guys. I guess, I can't decide. I like them so much. It's hard to decide when I like them so much. Pretty much equally now. Yeah, okay, I'll leave it at that. But yes, I do think that this is worth having in your collection, at least worth a test. And yeah, it might be a little bit much in the beginning, but I think that after a while, it could be a little bit, it does change a lot. So it could be kind of like a testing kind of experiment for a longer period. At least for me it was. Okay, so yeah, that was my review on Black Orchid by Tom Ford Eau de Parfum in comparison with the Eau de Toilette. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on both of these. What do you think of the perfume in general? I know some people really hate Black Orchid as well. Pretty much a love it or hate it perfume. I happen to obviously absolutely adore this perfume, and I won't ever be without a bottle of either of these for sure. Which one would you prefer as well between the two? What do you think of the line? Anything you want to say about Black Orchid or the flankers? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will be back with more videos soon. Take care. Bye-bye.